So every day you have to sell yourself and get out of your mind those old thoughts, that old belief system. Every day you've got to sell yourself on that it's possible. That you got to put a new mind in you. You got to get out of your mind. You got to begin to restructure your thinking. Every day you've got to begin to recondition your mind.
The first and most crucial step on my journey was to change my mindset, to start thinking about myself as somebody that had value, that had some good things going for me, right? And that wasn't a quick turnaround. That was something that took daily repetition. It took practice. And honestly, it took me a little while. It might have taken me, a few months to start thinking positive thoughts on a regular basis. Now, I slip every now and then. That's normal. But for the most part, every day I abstain from negative thoughts about myself and about others. One of the first techniques that I used was I stopped beating myself up about past mistakes. And instead, whenever one of those thoughts would come into my head about a mistake I had made, I told myself, you know what? I made the best decision with the information that I had at the time, and I'll do it better next time. It's very easy to bring up an event from the past, bring it, think about it today in the present, feel bad about it, feel guilty or shame over something that you had done. But that your body, when you do that, your body produces chemicals as if you're going through that event again. So whenever that old record starts playing and you start replaying that event in your mind, and all those feelings of guilt and shame are starting to come up, stop the thought. Say, I deny this thought. I reject it. Think about something different. And the ironic thing is that most of the memories, I don't know if I can say most, but a lot of things that people remember didn't even happen the way they remember it. Your memory is not a recording of what happened. It's your interpretation of what happened. There was an episode of Seinfeld, just as an example, where him and Jerry and George were talking about a day that had happened where Jerry had met some beautiful girl, and he remembered her wearing some bright, I think it was red dress. And that was his memory, and they talked about it. Oh, she looked so good. She looked so good in this red dress. And then when they somehow they met this girl again, it was somebody from high school, so it's 20 years later, and they meet her again. They talk about that day, and she was like, the dress wasn't red, it was green. And they were flabbergasted by that because they had ran that record, that memory, over in their minds so many times, and picturing her wearing a red dress, and that's what they remembered. So it didn't even happen the way they remember it. And that's true of all of our lives. Events in our past that we remember, a lot of them didn't even happen the way we remember it. So to bring up a negative event from your past to today and run that through your mind and to feel guilty and shame, a lot of times you're feeling guilt and shame over something that never happened. Now, obviously, bad things happen. There are bad events from all of our past where we did things wrong. We make mistakes. Somebody else did something bad. There are horrific events that happen in people's lives. The idea that I had to adopt is that things that happened in the past are in the past. There is nothing I can do about it. I cannot change anything that happened 5 minutes ago or 20 years ago. And to think about that event and bring it into my present and allow it to hold me down or hold me back or keep me in that depression pit was something that I wasn't going to allow anymore. I simply made the decision I wasn't going to allow it to keep me down. And I started actually saying out loud, I reject that thought, I deny that thought, and to replace it with a positive thought. Now, in the beginning, it was difficult. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't something that was quick. It was It was daily that I had to work on it. But over a relatively short period of time, I'd say a month or two, my mindset started to change. I started having more positive thoughts than negative. I started feeling good about myself. And it is amazing when you start changing the thoughts that you have, everything changes. I think it's Wayne Dyer that says, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And you start becoming a creator of your life instead of a victim of circumstance. So be very mindful of your self-talk because it creates your self-image. And your self-image will dictate your actions. Actually, there is an old proverb that says, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. I've explained this idea to members of my family, to close friends, this idea that has helped me so much. And a lot of them just get the wrong idea. They think that what I'm saying is if you get up in the morning and you think you're a model, that somehow some hidden force is going to come in and transform your body into that of a runway model or a magazine cover model. And that is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is creating an image in your mind of something, one, first, that you're a good person, that you're worthy, and that create an image of your mind of what you want to be and what you're capable of, and you will start making decisions and actions that lead to that result. And if you're somebody that believes that you are a fat person, okay, that's your self-image. Even if you go on a diet and a workout plan, let's say for a month or two, and you lose 20 pounds, your internal programming will take over and direct you back to the point where you currently are now. Your success will be very short-lived. What I would do, especially at the beginning, is when I started to lose some weight, I would start making excuses. I would say, I've worked hard. I deserve a day off. Okay, I've lost some weight. I deserve to have some dessert. I can eat this. We can go out to eat. I can drink this Dr. Pepper. I can eat these brownies. I've worked really hard. And inevitably, my subconscious programming would direct me to take actions to lead me back to what my self-image was. So no matter what area of life that you want to improve, whether it's finances, health, relationship, whatever it is, you first have to start changing your mind, your mindset in regards to that area. You got to see yourself as worthy, as deserving, and that you're working towards obtaining this goal. So let's say you're currently overweight and your desire is to be healthy, to be fit, to be able to go to the beach, take your shirt off. Whatever it is, whatever your goal is, start playing that image in your mind. Start daydreaming, whatever, of you being at the beach. And don't see yourself as a fat person that's overweight that shouldn't be there. See yourself as you would like to be and make that image as vivid as possible. Talk to people, just imagine, just in your mind, just see yourself at the beach. Imagine a pretty girl or a guy coming up and talking to you, telling you how good you look. Make it as vivid and as real as possible. And play that fantasy in your head every day. Do it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whenever you feel comfortable. Just sit down in a quiet room, dark, preferably, by yourself, when you get the time, and just run that image through your head. And do that on a constant, consistent basis. And you will be amazed at the changes that you will see in your life. we're coming to the end of this one. I really appreciate you listening, and I hope you come back for the next video. Thank you.